turn that down. Oh yeah. So Friday night, beer night, not red wine. We're back on the Workbench project, but there's other news. I should consider doing a Friday night special or something, but I'm lazy and I wouldn't post it at that point in time. And also Friday night is takeaway night, so we have a curry. So when that bell, I've put the front doorbell in here, so when my better half wants me, she pushes the button in the kitchen and the doorbell goes off in the workshop. And that's like, come, I need you now. So where am I at? Well, pick you up and show you. The storage project is on hold because I need to scrounge some materials. As you'll have gathered by now, I'm not into buying stuff. I scrounge it, and the shelving and stuff, all that, I'll probably have to buy the materials unless we do a big install at work and it all comes crated in boxes. But we'll see about that. You know, you never know your luck. But it works for now. The only thing is I can't get at anything. But I've come back to the Workbench and started working on that. And I started working on the Clever Dick stuff. I've actually welded or tacked the legs on, but they're not trued and squared properly yet. And that side is slightly out. I got some scrap material that wasn't long enough, and as you can see, I've welded it in the middle, that one and that one, just roughly banged them together. They're the rear supports for this, but when I place this one on here, this combination that I made, you can see the tacks, it's nearly 5mm out. And then I transferred my measurements here, and that's nearly 5mm out, so I'm going to have to cut them out and drop it so that it's true. Stupid mistake, I don't quite know how I did that, but I did, so hey, that's to be sorted. But then I was working out what I'm going to do with it, and to have a plan, you sort of invent what you're going to do and then you see if you can do it. So I started scribing my new best tool in my workshop. Look at that, modern light, a real engineer's spring caliper. So with that, I worked out with one of these things, there's one here, hang on, put you down. I had two of these from the seat unit, the swivels, and as you can see, it's just like, it's not a rivet exactly, but it's an expanded union. So I thought, right, that's not going to happen. I can see the ball races inside, and on the bottom there's this flat plug, so it's just press fitted, and you can see it cracks the fitting as it goes in. Fine. So I thought, right, well, to work out what I need, I want this to sit here. So I transferred the measurements using my lovely calipers. You can see the ring. If I was just, this part of this worktop is going to be scrapped, so it's alright that I've launched it, and it's upside down anyway. Worked out my centre mark, you can just see it there, that one. Scribed the circle, thinking that bit would have to be mounted, and then you've got a rotating circle, and I worked out for the thickness of the table top above the metalwork, I can weld or bolt this to the metalwork, but I need the centre section to be adjustable. So I started grinding. That was up there, and I ground out the lip that you saw on the other one. get rid of that. Oh, I can't come that way, it has to go that way. There's all the ball laces in a pot. Schmaltz that, but I wasn't bothered. But then I realised there were two things. If you look on the underside of that, that had balls in it. But the bottom face, this one, is the same. And when you measure that diameter against that, it's the same. So it matches. Open that up. It matches that. And this would be the top face. So I've started with just with my simple angle grinder, roughing. You can see I'm just off the line that I scribed, only just. I've started cutting it out. I've got to go all the way down and then file finish it so that that's a perfect circle on the top. And then this face here can match this one, which is still in one piece, with a load of ball laces on. The reason for that is there's no bearing in the centre. So in order to make it work, what you have to do, you've got this face, that's the bottom, with its ball laces, which match on the underside of this. On there. And then to centre it, there's this face, which is a ball lace, for this to mount on. I mean, obviously it's relatively cheap, but what it meant was that they, when they originally manufactured this, they didn't have to put a bearing in the centre, because this lace acts as a bearing. Now what I'm going to do is just stick a bolt through, put the balls back in that, stick a bolt through, or weld a plate with a stud and a thread, so I've got adjustable tension. Because when you've got a vice, this is the vice mounted on there with offsets. That's the drawing I did of it. You can see just penciled round it. When you've got a vice mounted so that you can have it that way or that way, this is going to substitute for having a ball lace in the centre. So that works, because the other one, you can see the state of it, absolutely knackered, because I just went in with a grinder at various angles and then swiveled between them to get it off. But that's going to work. It's going to work really well. So that plate mounts to the steelwork, is welded on. Then the ball laces go in. Then this, when it's cut to a perfect circle and filed and all that, and another set of ball laces, and then that to centre it, and then the bolt going through, so it's adjustable from the bottom with a lock nut. Job done. Oh, I'll have to weld on the threaded, well, just nuts basically to get the height right, because I never got a do. Yeah. You can see there's a gap. Now I might have to drill holes in it in this centre point here and inset a nut so that I've got something to bolt this down to. But that's going to work. I'm really quite pleased with that idea. What else have I got to tell you? Oh yeah, change of plan. This side of the workbench, so I've got a slide that can come out there and a slide that can come out there, and what I was going to have was my drill press mounted here, and then you pull the drill press out and drop in a section. But this workbench, when that's there, it's not that big to start with, and you've got a vice here, then a drill press here, and it was going to have to be at the back to give me a working surface, and it's a bit of a pain to lean all that way back to use the drill. Then what I realised was I'd almost certainly always have it out here. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, why not? If I stick a pivot coming out from the metalwork here and have a worktop that with an offset pivot does from there coming up to there with the drill press mounted on it about here, so it's no longer than that. That just drops down. I open up this space. I've got enough of this worktop to put an inset. I know it's a weird idea, but it's going to work. So the only thing that's permanently mounted on the worktop is the vise. Everything else either pulls out that way or swings up that way. That's going to work. Other news, I had a chat with my better half today, and yes, it's going to work out that the deal is, if I do the garden, which is out that way, I get to extend the workshop 4 feet. So from where the chalkboard is, the dartboard chalkboard, that point can't be moved, but all of this wall all the way to that back corner can be. There are some steels inside and stuff like that, but I can take that out 4 feet that way, and it ties in with where we've got a carport that needs rebuilding, and it ties in with where the carport lines up with the edge of the house, so it's just one massive beam. And strangely enough, a house just down the road has had a load of work done on it, and tomorrow morning I'm going to go down and see if I can blag the roof joists, which is the same as mine, I assume, because they were all built at the same time. If I can get them, I've got enough timber to make the framework, and then all I need to do is extend these steels, and I can just open up each one of these roof beams one by one and weld in a new joint. I mean, there's no load on the top of this thing. It's just the insulation and a bit of ply, so I can extend out and make this place usable, because it's just too narrow. But that'd be fantastic. So looks like that's going to be the videos for the next year or so. Anyway, that's enough for now. I will keep you updated on the Workbench project, and then eventually that frame becomes the base for the homemade lathe project. I told you I like building stuff, but I'm all over the place. Get used to it. Cheers now. Hiya. Did a bit more, so I figured I'd add it to the end of a video that I was supposed to do Friday but didn't actually do. So here we go. Carpentry on this. Before I got too far welding these up, I figured, I've got a plan for the stuff that's going underneath it. First bit is that, which you know about. Second bit, this was that kind of width was the width of the pedestal centre of a drop leaf table, but it was twice as deep. So I chopped it in half and a bit of jiggly poker. They just rough screws, you know, big old screws, just whacked it to bits. It needs covered on to keep dust off, but it actually works. I can get all the drawers in, all the way down. They all work. It needs a lid of some description, something to keep dust going down the sides, but I mean just a bit of material over that. That's it, job done. I've stuck it on some casters. I don't think they'll work for very long because they're only cheap plastic chair ones and trolley ones. They've got locks on the front, but hey. But the main reason for doing that and why they're not further out is because it's so tight. When this is pushed under, which this one has to be pushed under first, and it has to go over that metal bar. So you roll it sideways, and when you measure up there, and then you measure that width, and then you measure that width and compare it to where you end up here. There's a 1/16 of an inch in it. So talk about made to measure. And if it's too tight, I'll have to do something else about wheels. Do I really need wheels under there? The bench doesn't move. But it's nice, the idea that you can shift everything. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And I know it's going to fit before I've solidly weld everything together. It's hard to do this left-handed, I must admit. Get in. Especially when it's on wheels. Hang on. There you go. Told you it'd fit. Anyway, that's enough of that. Cheers now.